So the New York Knicks have turned everything around. There were some concerns a couple weeks ago about this team where they had Dallas at home and they got wiped off the court. And I had some major red flags at that point because I'm like, I got this team win the championship. And if this is the effort you're going to show me against a team you should dominate or at least win at home, then do I need to change gears and pick somebody else? And I trust the Knicks when I need them to show up in the playoffs? But ever since then, they've won 9 of the last 10 games. They have wins against the Lakers, the Nuggets, the Sixers, and they went to Boston yesterday in that span of games to just handle business. They've also beat the easy teams in large blowouts, which is great to see, especially when the Knicks were, it seemed like they were just on cruise control. They just weren't playing hard enough. I don't know what was going on. They had some struggles. I know they had some injuries as well. OG Anunoby didn't play against the Celtics yesterday. Hopefully, he's healthy enough for the playoffs. I know there's a report today that Deuce McBride could be missing the rest of the regular season. That could be a huge loss because remember, you want to get enough reps in for the regular season so you're healthy enough come playoff time. And if Jose Alvarado, which thank God they picked him up, if he's giving them good minutes, playing with energy, which you expect from Alvarado, then it's going to be very hard to take him out of the lineup. Now, here's the thing, though. I don't like the look of Brunson and Alvarado too much because that's a very small backcourt. If I have Alvarado out there, I want him out there for about 5 to 10 minutes, give you some energy, and play him alongside Landry Shamet because Shamet's been really good from three this year. I think he's at like 44% from three. And that will help just with the size and handling the rebounding because guards could take full advantage. Like the Celtics had some advantages with that lineup where they were able to crash the glass. And they do a good job of getting their guards in there, grabbing those offensive rebounds and creating extra possessions. So just be very careful with that look. I want to see Mike Brown just tinker with the rotations, play Alvarado alongside Shamet, get him some reps and build some chemistry. And on top of that, where does Tyler Kolek stand? Because he has given them really good minutes this year, been really reliable as a backup guard for Jalen Brunson. How does he fit in this category when it comes to minutes and what you need to be doing with him? But at the end of the day, I'm not concerned about how they fit this all together. I just want to see Mike Brown implement some things as the Knicks continue to go towards the playoffs and head for a NBA championship run. Overall, though, I'm encouraged by the Knicks. It was definitely concerning when they had that really bad loss against Dallas, but they've just really kicked into high gear. Defense looks like themselves again. And the only thing at this point when it comes to the Knicks is a couple of things is Mikal Bridges in the playoffs, 33% from three isn't going to cut this year. I need him at least at 36%. OG Anunoby, he'll be great defensively, but last year he was at 35% from three. I need that like 37, 38 in the playoffs because they can't rely only on Jalen Brunson. And then Karl Anthony Towns, again, he needs to have a really good playoffs and be that second option that the Knicks expect him to be. If all that happens, this team will be in the NBA Finals. And I still like them to come out of the Eastern Conference because when you look at the Boston Celtics, I know it was reported that Jason Tatum is expected to come back at some point. It seems like Boston is preparing his return. It's probably going to be in March. We'll see what version we get out of Tatum. But if he is very healthy, that's going to be a very tough 7-game series if they meet in the second round. But if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals and they meet up with the Detroit Pistons, it's going to be a very physical series. But they were able to handle physicality last year. On top of that, the Pistons traded Jaden Ivey, which I didn't totally understand that move from the perspective of the Pistons need as much ball handling as possible and shot creation because outside of Cade Cunningham, a lot of the other guys are more 3-and-D or guys who can knock down a three-point shot. So when you take away Jaden Ivey and you move on from him, whether it's for, contract reasons. That might have been why they moved off him because they couldn't pay him because he was going to be a restricted free agent. So they probably thought someone else is going to step in this offseason and take Jaden Ivey away. So they decided to just pull the trigger and trade him. So I can understand that logic. But at the same time, Detroit is going to lack shot creation in the playoffs. I understand they have had their success with the Knicks this year in the regular season, but the playoffs are a different animal. You have an entire series to strategize and scout your opponent. And I think that will really hurt the Pistons in the playoffs. Now, at the same time, the Knicks could choke this away. Like that's a reality that we have to live with is that this Knicks team might shrink in the big moments like they did against Indiana. The Pacers just took it to them. They played with such aggression. They didn't slow down. So if you're the New York Knicks, when you got to these conference finals, you're going to have the experience on your side. Detroit's never been there. If you get the Cavs, you're going to have the same advantages. They've never been there as well. So it feels like the Knicks should get there. It's all about continuing the momentum, playing good basketball right now, and building the right habits. If you can get Alvarado implemented, where he's giving you good minutes, and if Deuce McBride can come back right before the playoffs, that'd be great. But again, the report is he might miss the rest of this regular season. That does hurt. However, if you feel good about him coming back for playoff minutes and playing alongside Alvarado and just figuring out that rotation, because you don't want to tinker with that in the playoffs, right? But I think if you have Alvarado out there, you got to have another guard next to him who is big enough to handle rebounding assignments. And that way you're not getting killed on the offensive glass, especially if you have a guy like Kolek and Alvarado or Alvarado and Brunson. I don't think you need to be showing the offense that type of look because they might eat you on the glass. So that's my only concern. Outside of that, though, the Knicks are in prime position to make a deep playoff run. As long as they continue to play good basketball and we get contributions up and down this roster. Remember, they're going to have a bench this year. They're not going to have the same issues they have with their depth from last year's playoffs. So that's something to be encouraged by. Also, Mitchell Robinson keeps staying healthy, knock on wood. That's definitely something we want to see, especially if you're a Knicks fan. You want to see them stay healthy. And obviously, OG Anunoby, another guy, you want to see him healthy in the playoffs. So if all those things work out for New York, it's going to be a very interesting Eastern Conference Finals matchup between them and the Pistons. I would take the Knicks in 6 games just because of the experience and the lack of shot creation from the Detroit Pistons. I think that will really hurt them in that matchup. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I want to hear your thoughts about how you're feeling about the New York Knicks. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.